Happy Sunday morning, boys and girls. Welcome back to another episode of, what do you call this thing again? Virtuous? Virtuoso? Oh, virtual. What's that mean? Oh, never mind. Welcome back to another episode of Virtual Judson Sunday School. I should probably start by telling you that I am not exactly who you think I am. Most people, when they see me, they just naturally assume that I'm Albert Einstein, but I'm not. Albert is my twin brother. My name is Dilbert Einstein, but nobody calls me Dilbert, not even my parents, and they're the ones that name me Dilbert. You can just call me Hezno. It's spelled Hezno. Hezno Einstein. My parents nicknamed me Hezno when I was just a kid. They told me it was an old Yiddish word that meant not exactly what you had in mind when you heard the name Einstein, huh? The truth is, I don't really speak Yiddish, so I don't know if that's the truth or not. Anyway, I'm here today because, well, Judson asked my brother Albert if he would come over here and talk with you about climate change. Because, well, Albert, he's like real smart. I mean, he knows all kinds of things. Don't get me wrong, I know stuff too, because, I've got a brain. But my brain is just not like Albert's. Albert's brain is huge. He's always talking about stuff, like space, or time. Albert's always telling me, he says, time is relative, but he will never tell me which one. I think it's our Uncle Mike, because Uncle Mike is slow. But anyway, so Albert knows a whole lot about climate change, but he couldn't be here today for a couple of reasons. One, he's been working on this new formula, something to do with the letter E. It's like, he told me it's like E equals some other letters, like M. E equals MC. Something. What was it? E equals MC hammer? E equals MC hammer? Don't quote me on that. I may not have got that right. But anyway, the second reason Albert couldn't be here today is because, well, frankly, it's not like Judson was going to pay a lot of money for this gig. And Albert said, if they're not going to pay any more money than that, you should do it. Give them their money's worth. Well, I told Albert, I don't want to do it because I don't know anything about climate change. But Albert, he says, what's to know? You got a climate and it's changing. And Albert said I should probably start by giving you a test to see how much you already know about climate change. Maybe if you already know some stuff about it, I won't have to talk so much. So I did some reading about climate change, mostly during the commercials, and I think I got the gist of it. And so, anyway, here I am. Whew. Oh, this is Albert's coat. He let me borrow it. I've got one just like it, but I spilled mustard on mine. So let's start with this test that Albert came up with for you. It's a fill-in-the-blank test, as you can see on this marker board here. There are 4 definitions. Albert wrote them out for me. I'm going to read a definition, and you have to guess what the word is I'm defining. Fill in the blank, okay? Let's see how we do. Here's the first word. The first question, the first definition is 2 words. Both words start with the letter F. Like that. So, This F something formed over millions of years from a buildup of buried prehistoric animal and vegetable matter. Over many, many years, this matter decomposed and turned into oil, natural gas, and coal. What two words that start with the letter F am I talking about? Whew. Any idea? I'll fill it in. Make sure I spell them right. If you guess fossil fuel, you are correct. And you're smarter than me, because I didn't get that at all. Let's go to the second word. The second definition is a thick layer of gases completely surrounding our planet. Oh, that's Earth. Without which our planet could not exist. It is composed of about 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, and about 1% of other gases. This word starts with the letter A. So, any idea what this thick layer of gas surrounding our planet, Earth, is? That starts with the letter A. It is atmosphere. If you guessed air like me, well, I thought it was a pretty good guess. It started with the letter A anyway. Our third definition is 3 words. 3 is 3. Ha! How about that? When all of the gas from the burning of those fossil fuels gets trapped in the atmosphere, the temperature of the planet goes up, and all kinds of bad things happen, like melting ice caps and this. Again, it's 3 words, and the words start with the letter R something, S something, L something. 3 words about something that's bad that's going to happen when all of these fossil fuels get trapped in the atmosphere. You ready? Did you guess? Rising sea levels? I didn't guess that. I didn't have a clue on that one. Okay, so here's the last one. Definition number 4. This is a measurable period during which an action or condition exists or continues. Get this clue. It includes the past, the present, and the future. You might say, when it comes to climate change, this word, which begins with the letter T, is running out. Any idea? This is running out when it comes to climate change. The correct answer is time. Woohoo! 1 out of 4 for he's no. Yes. So let's review. Fossil fuel, atmosphere, rising sea level, and time. Put that all together. What do you got? F, A, R, T. That's right. Fart. Fart. Now, this isn't Albert's part of the discussion. This is my theory about climate change. You want to hear it? Good. So, I think climate change is a lot like sleepaway camp. Have you ever been to sleepaway camp? Well, maybe you'll go someday. Sleepaway camp is great because you get to do all kinds of things. You get to, you get to go swimming, and there's archery, and you make lanyards. And, when I went to sleepaway camp anyway, they served you lots of hamburgers and hot dogs and lots and lots and lots of baked beans. I mean, like way too many baked beans. And so later at night, when you're all in your cabin getting ready for bed, all of those beans start to take effect. Everybody in the cabin starts farting. Well, at first, it's kind of funny. But then, after a while, it's like overwhelming. You can't breathe in there. It's so stinky, and you're trapped. Talk about your greenhouse gases. Everybody in that house is turning green from all that gas. That's climate change. For the past 300 years or so, the human race has been acting like a bunch of sleepaway campers who've had can after can after can of baked beans, and if we don't change our ways, our cabin is going to explode. That's my theory anyway. But, remember, he's no Einstein. I'm not Albert. Let's watch this video I found on the internet about climate change. It's from back in 2015, before they had that huge worldwide climate change conference. But still, I think it'll fill in some of the parts that I might have left out.
This is the world. That's you and that's me. The world has the perfect temperature to keep all living things alive and happy. This temperature depends on a balance. The sun's heat goes to Earth to make it warm. The sun's heat bounces back to space to make the Earth cool. When this balance is lost, the climate changes. The Earth's climate has changed many times before. This is called natural climate change. It's caused by volcanic eruptions, changes in the sun's energy, and changes in the Earth's orbit. Greenhouse gases also make the Earth warmer. They trap heat from the sun. Greenhouse gases are like a blanket covering the Earth. It started in the 1700s. Humans started to build more things. We burned coal to make electricity. We burned oil to make our cars and planes move. We use chemicals to make things. We cut down lots of trees. We burn gas to cook food. We dump lots of trash on landfills. We plant a lot more rice. All these things release greenhouse gases. Remember the blanket over the Earth? Because of humans, it got much, much thicker. When I get hot, I sweat. I even get dizzy. Imagine the Earth. Because it's hotter, glaciers and ice sheets are melting. Seas are rising, storms are getting stronger, some places are getting dry, even the sea is getting warmer. All living things are in big trouble. So what should we do? We need to change the way we live, so we can stop releasing so much greenhouse gases. That way, the Earth's blanket will go back to normal. We also need to be ready for what climate change will bring. In December, there will be a big meeting of nations. They'll meet in Paris to decide how each country can help. Their decision will decide the future of Earth, our home.
So while that video was playing, I got a text from my brother Albert. He wanted me to re-emphasize to you and to anybody else who's watching that the fart theory of climate change is my theory, not his. He said he didn't find the fart theory of climate change to be very responsible, which, well, if you ask me, is kind of ironic. If I knew what the word ironic meant, because our word of the day is responsible. Ta-da! What does the word responsible mean? I have no idea. Let's look it up. It's under R. Okay, so here we go. According to the dictionary, the word responsible means three things. One, being the primary cause of something. Two, being answerable or accountable for something. And three, having an obligation to do something. Now, all three of those definitions can be applied to human beings when it comes to climate change. Because, well, first, human beings are responsible. We are the primary cause of climate change. Second, human beings should be answerable. We should be held accountable for climate change. And third, human beings have an obligation to do something about climate change. Now, the month of March is Women's History Month, and so for the second week in a row, Virtual Judson Sunday School is featuring a girl not much older than many of you. When it comes to being responsible, no one on the planet, not a man, not a woman, not a girl, not a boy, that's everybody. Not anybody has acted more responsibly over the last, say, 2.5 years than Greta Thunberg. In a little bit, I'm going to read a story about Greta, but first, let's watch this video about Greta fighting climate change and her worldwide movement of kids just like you. So while that video was going on, I had to text Andy, your grand poobah, and ask him, what does all this climate change stuff have to do with Sunday school? Some of you might have been wondering the same thing. Andy texted me back and he said, it all comes down to our word of the day, responsible. And he told me to remind you about last week's lesson about Malala Yousafzai and all of the different religions in the world, like Christianity and Judaism and Islam and Hinduism and Buddhism and so many, many more. Why? Because, as Andy said last week, there are so many religions because there are so many people in the world, each with their different ideas about God. Now, there are some things all of these religions can agree on, like the importance of love and maybe the importance of treating each other with respect despite our differences. But there are a lot of things that even religions don't understand, like who or what is God exactly, or what are we doing here on this planet, and what happens after we die. Every religion has their own ideas about such questions, and hopefully, where these different religions differ, they will treat each other respectfully, peacefully. One more thing that all religions can probably agree on is that life is a gift from God, as is this planet, Earth, our home, and we need to care for it responsibly. I'm reminded of an old song we love to sing around the Einstein house. Well, not Albert. You know, for all of Albert's brains, he doesn't have a clue about what a melody is. But anyway, the song is a song about God. It's called "This Is My Father's World." This being the month of March, maybe I'll change that to "This is my mother's world." But my favorite verse goes like this. This is my mother's world. The birds their carols raise. The morning light, the lily white, declare their Maker's praise. This is my mother's world. She shines in all that's fair. In the rustling grass, I hear her pass. She speaks to me everywhere. We don't have to be an Albert Einstein to understand that the earth is a gift for you and for me for however long we are here. Let us treat it responsibly. So, kids, today's story is about Greta Thunberg, and it is called Our House is on Fire, Greta Thunberg's Call to Save the Planet, and it's by Jeanette Winter. And when you open it up, the first thing you see is a quote by Greta, and that quote reads, "You are never too small to make a difference." That sounds like something that could apply to all of us, right? Well, all of you guys anyway. So let's read it. Our house is on fire. Greta is a quiet girl who led a quiet life in the city of Stockholm. Her dog Roxy was her friend. "All my life, I've been invisible," she says. The invisible girl in the back who doesn't say anything. In school, she felt alone. Then one day, Greta's teacher talked to the class about the climate, about how our planet is getting warmer, about how the polar ice is melting, about how animals' lives are threatened, and ours too. That's when Greta's life changed. She read for hours and watched film after film about our warming world. Greta could think about one thing for a long, long time. She saw ice melting into the sea, disappearing. She saw mighty winds and torrential rains howling across the land. She saw coral reefs deep down in the sea, pale as ghosts, bleached by the warming waters. Greta saw living creatures everywhere struggling to stay alive. Greta saw floodwaters covering houses and people and animals. She saw cities swallowed under rising oceans. I don't know if you can notice this, but her dog seems to be getting more and more afraid of these pictures. He's now looking away. See? She saw the smoldering sun scorch the earth, leaving it bone dry. She saw blazing wildfires racing through the forests. Our house is on fire. Greta became sad, thinking about the climate all the time. She barely ate or spoke. "These pictures were stuck in my mind," she said. The sad days went on for a long time, each day more unhappy than the next. There might not be a world to live in when she grows up. What use is school without a future? What can I do, she wondered. Greta decided to go on strike from school for the climate. Her parents understood. Greta skipped school one Friday and took her poster, "School Strike for Climate," to the Parliament building to sit on strike. She hoped lawmakers would see her. People walked past, too busy to notice. Greta was invisible there, too. She was at the Parliament building every Friday, even in the rain. Then word of her strike began to spread. Little by little, other school strikers joined her. On Fridays, Stockholm schools were a bit empty. More people started noticing the child strikers, and word spread through cyberspace about the Friday school strikes. Children started striking everywhere. If grown-ups won't act to save the planet, children will. The quiet girl who always felt invisible was asked to speak to very important people at the United Nations climate talks in Poland. Greta only spoke when she thought it was necessary. She said, "You say you love your children above all else, and yet you are stealing their future in front of their very eyes. We need to keep the fossil fuels in the ground." The quiet girl was invited to speak to important people at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. It was necessary to speak. She said, "I don't want you to be hopeful. I want you to panic. I want you to feel the fear I feel every day. I want you to act as if the house was on fire, because it is." Greta's protest, all alone, sparked a worldwide children's march. Her quiet voice, joined by thousands of voices, became a roar. Can you hear us? And on these pages, we see pictures of kids holding up signs in protest. Some of the signs read, "Our house is on fire. Keep oil in the ground. Raise your voice, not the sea level. The water is rising, so are we. Science, not silence. Love your Mother Earth. Our future is in your hands. There is no planet B. Save our planet. Don't be a fossil fool. Give the earth a big green hug." What will you do? Our house is on fire. Well, boys and girls, it's song time, and it's probably a good thing you've got He's No Einstein here to help you with the singing, because like I said, my brother Albert, he's pretty smart, but he doesn't know anything about how to carry a tune in a bucket. So, Andy, the Grand Poobah, asked me to go over the part of the song that you learned last week. This is the Cole Porter song, "Don't Fence Me In." And so we'll do that much, and then when Andy's back next week, he'll teach you the rest of the song, okay? So if you have your music, your picture lyrics, or your basic lyrics, get them, and let's do this. Here we go. I'll take it through once, kind of slow, and then we'll sing it together, okay? So remember, it's, "Oh, give me land, lots of land. Oh, give me land, lots of land, under starry skies above." Turn the page. "Don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in." Turn to page 3. We start with the lettuce. "Let me be by myself in the evening breeze. Listen to the murmur of the cottonwood trees." Page 4. "Send me off forever, but I ask you please, don't fence me in." Does that sound familiar? Let's do it again from the top. You ready? I think you got to be Albert to figure out how to work these pages. All right. So let's do it one more time. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2. "Oh, give me land, lots of land, under starry skies above." Turn the page. "Don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in." Page 3. "Let me be by myself in the evening breeze. Listen to the murmur of the cottonwood trees." Page 4. "Send me off forever, but I ask you please, Don't fence me in. He's no comes through. Well, it looks like me. He's no Einstein, not my brother Albert, somehow managed to get through this episode of, oh man, what do you call it again? Oh, Virtual Judson Sunday School. So I want to thank Andre and Michelle for helping me out today. I want to thank you for being with me today as well. Andy, the Grand Poobah, in his text said for me to remind you that your videos for our anniversary show next Sunday are due tomorrow, March 15th. So send those in, please. Thanks. And so, let's see, what does Andy say? He says, until next time, have a great week. Stay safe. Keep a place for Judson in your heart. Oh, I'll add one. Don't spill any mustard on your lab coat because it's like really hard to get out. And Andy, the Grand Poobah, will be back next time on, Virtual Judson Sunday School.